Does the government work for us or do we work for the government? Can the president kill anyone he wants for any reason he gives and without following the law? Tonight, the Constitution and fairness. Last Thursday, the closing remarks of your night watchman asked this: what if the Constitution were written not to limit government but to expand it? What if the Constitution didn't fulfill the promise of the Declaration of Independence but betrayed it? What if the Constitution actually permitted the government to limit and constrict freedom? What if the Bill of Rights was just a paper promise that the government could avoid whenever it claimed the need to do so? What if they could just make you disappear? Little did we know at the time that the government was about to give life to those terrifying questions by taking the life of an American overseas. Anwar al-Awlaki, a person who held himself out as a Muslim cleric, but whom the president says was really a murderous thug who helped kill innocents, was blown to pieces when an unmanned drone operated by American forces delivered a missile to a convoy of cars in which Mr. Awlaki was traveling in the country of Yemen. American troops and agents were able to locate him with sufficient precision to kill him at least 8 days before he was killed. 8 days. Surely that was enough time to have arrested him and brought him to the United States to be tried for conspiracy to commit murder. 8 days. Surely that was enough time to have indicted him and had him arrested locally and sought his extradition to here. 8 days, during which time his every move was monitored, and at the end of which the president could have brought him to a federal courtroom in New York City, which is where he wanted to try Khalid Sheikh Mohammed. Did he have a gun in those 8 days? Did he kill anyone in those 8 days? We don't know because the feds won't tell us. The Constitution could not be clearer on this. The Fifth Amendment states in part that no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. It doesn't say no person except those deemed dangerous by the president. It doesn't say no person except those whom the president declares to be enemy combatants. It doesn't say no person except those against whom the president claims to have secret evidence. It simply states no person. This due process requirement is the linchpin of the entire Constitution. From it comes the presumption of innocence, that all persons are presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. From it comes the government's duty of transparency and fairness, and it applies to all persons, even non-Americans. But that's not an issue here because Mr. Awlaki, as you may know, was born in New Mexico, United States of America. Due process of law means a fair hearing before a neutral judge and jury under transparent procedures established in advance. This was one of the reasons we fought a revolution against the British king. He and his predecessors established a procedure called Star Chamber, in which due process was denied, in which the prosecutor chose the judge and the jury, from which the public was excluded, for which there were no public records, and as a result of which the king's enemies just disappeared. To assure that no such system would ever come about here, the Fifth Amendment was enacted. It was enacted to assure that all persons would be treated fairly by the government, even the persons the government and the public have come to hate. A well-deserved death, the neocons called this killing. That is the cry of a dictator and not a Democrat. Unless the target is shooting at innocent persons, a well-deserved death can only be called by a jury after a fair trial. Why did the president make himself judge, jury, and executioner? Why didn't the president try him why didn't the government try him like it did Tim McVeigh, like it did the Nazis at Nuremberg, like it plans to do with those who plotted 9/11? These are questions the feds won't answer. They won't reveal the evidence they had against him or even the legal research they used to justify their killing. When Freedom Watch asked for this today, your CIA referred us to the White House. The White House referred us to the Justice Department. And the Justice Department didn't return our phone calls. So instead of due process, we have a secret execution based on secret evidence and a secret legal reasoning. No public record, no appeal to these people in the government. The Constitution be damned. This is the first time in recorded American history since the Civil War that the president has used the military to kill Americans without due process. And it might not be the last. Who will the president kill next? Tomorrow on Freedom Watch, Senator Mike Lee on freedom and the Constitution. From New York, defending freedom every night of the week. Everyone's freedom. So long, America.